welcome to another episode of Gadgets and Gizmos. My name is Gaurav Preti, and before we begin the show, very important announcement. Facebook has just made it official that they would be charging a fee of £5.99 to make sure that your messages and your photographs are not made public. To make sure they're private, all you have to do is copy and paste this message on your status bar. And this, of course, is not true. I can't believe people still fall for these kind of hoaxes, man. Come on, yaar. People who are doing this, they are just proving that graduation, not education, has nothing to do with intelligence. Be smart. Xiaomi's Mi 5 was a good smartphone, but then the market is so dynamic, the phone really couldn't pick up. And Xiaomi now thinks that in order to make it big, they'll have to launch a big smartphone, and they have. It's called the Xiaomi Me Max. It's massive. It's almost like a tablet, man. 6.4 inches, and it costs only 15,000 rupees. So, pretty neat. Take a look.
Here's the thing about big smartphones. They are just better. Get a bigger screen, they run cooler, and well, they often have better battery life because, well, you can always fit in a bigger battery. But what happens when the big phone gets bigger and starts blurring the lines between a phablet and a full-fledged tablet? Well, then you get a phone like the new Xiaomi Me Max. It's a massive phone. It's got a 6.4-inch display. So let's find out if the Mi Max can be your next big phone. What's great about the Mi Max? Well, there's a lot to like about it. Starting with its design, it's probably the most well-designed Xiaomi phone out there. It borrows and marries the elements that made the Redmi Note 3 and the Mi 5 so great. And on the front, you get this white finish, which is topped up with 2.5D curved glass, and it looks really swanky and sturdy. For a phone of its size, it's just 7.5mm thin. In fact, this is probably the thinnest phone in the market to pack in a massive 4850 milliampere battery. Yes, and this battery will last you around about 30 hours on a single charge with moderate to heavy usage. The back, this fingerprint scanner is wicked fast. Look, it's almost open again. Internally, this phone is running basically the same silicon stack as the Redmi Note 3, which was really fantastic. So you get a 6-core processor by Qualcomm, you get 3 GB of RAM and also 32 GB of internal storage, and the package is really robust. It performs very smoothly and fluidly. It's lovely to watch YouTube videos on, play games on, and also, since I am a writer, edit documents on. Typing is a really pleasurable experience. And if anyone cribbed about one-handed usage, then you have to remember that most people use their phones with a single hand while they are driving, trying to message. You know that is illegal, so you shouldn't be even worrying about that. The biggest problem, obviously, is the ergonomics handicap this phone comes with. It's got a 6.4-inch screen, which means it is just massive. By any intents, it is just too big to be a phone. Then the rear camera, it's decent. It's a 16 megapixel sensor. It's the same one actually from the Redmi Note 3, and Xiaomi has definitely improved it from what it was on the Redmi Note 3, but still it's not up to the mark. Even compared to the Mi 4, this one has an inferior camera. The other thing that I don't really like about this phone is MIUI, because even though it's running Android Marshmallow, it still does not have full Marshmallow functionality. But overall, for a phone that costs less than 20,000 rupees, it delivers great battery life. It's got a nice screen and it is fluidic in terms of its performance. This is probably the most well-designed 6.4-inch screen phone I've ever seen. So if you can deal with this size, then this is a winner.
So LeEco has just garnered 78.2 crore rupees by getting a purchase order of 61,000 units via their flash sale of their super phones, the Le2 and the Le Max 2. Le Max 2, of course, we have reviewed, and this week we have the Le2. It's pretty good. Take a look. LeEco, the Chinese company, it's going all out with their marketing campaign. I'm sure you know about it. You must have seen their ad in one of the daily newspaper. Now their flash sale just got concluded. They had recently launched two new smartphones, the LeEco Max 2, it's a big phone, and the LeEco 2, which we have right here. And the LeEco Max 2, of course, was the best in class until the arrival of the OnePlus 3. But this is somewhat giving a tough competition to the Redmi Note 3, which is doing really great. This phone is great too. LeEco 2. This is the LeEco Le2, successor to the Le1S, which was launched in January this year. The Le2 looks much better and well defined. It's still an all-metal unibody design, prominent changes being the change in the camera position at the back. And you also get a fingerprint scanner as well. The new 16MP camera protrudes out, but the company gives you a protective cover, so don't worry about that. The phone has premium written all over. The 5.5-inch screen has a resolution of 1080 by 1920 pixels and it looks great. It's sharp and the colors look true to life with deep blacks. Besides the rear camera position, the other big change is the removal of the 3.5mm audio jack. You use these headphones and connect them to the USB Type-C port. LeEco proprietary CDLA technology provides some good audio experience. You get these headphones that resemble the Apple AirPods to get the best audio experience. Alright, coming to the performance, the phone is powered by Snapdragon 650 processor. It's a 1.8 GHz octa-core processor. You have 3 GB of RAM and 32 GB of internal storage. What else do you need, man? Performance is fast. Whatever you throw at it, it's gonna deliver a seamless and smooth performance every time. I love the display. The only problem that I can find with this phone would be with the user interface. They have used their own customized UI, which some people might not like it, but other than that, you would have no complaints whatsoever with this phone. The performance of the Le2 is best in class. Take note, Redmi Note 3. Everything from gaming to day-to-day use to intensive multitasking is done with consummate ease. Apps pop open as soon as your fingers taps on the icon, and so far we haven't come across anything that causes any sort of slowdown. Tasks like calling, web browsing, watching videos and gamings, well, we face no lags and problem whatsoever. The phone manages to stay relatively cool after prolonged use. Coming to the 16MP camera, it's again best in class. You get good picture quality, the colors look decent enough with good details. The phone is running on Android 6.0 Marshmallow with EUI on top. Now we have divided opinions on the UI. It surely is clean on the one hand, but it feels sluggish at times. Now LeEco is heavily banking on the supertainment it's providing. You get a year of membership free. It's good, but then you would need a good network connection. On the battery front, you have a 3000 mAh battery similar to the Le1S, but this time it lasts you the day. Alright, in the end, what should I say? After saying so many good things, of course, I would say that it's a value for money smartphone. In fact, I would say it gives you overvalue for the money you're paying, which is just 11,999 rupees. You get a beautiful looking phone, you get great performance, decent camera, battery life, yes, it will last you the day. And yes, CDLA, the new audio technology that LeEco has come up with, it's good. It's, you audiophiles would find some problems with it, but for a regular user, I think it's fantastic. And yes, the content which LeEco is heavily banking on, that's the model that because of which the company says that they're able to provide you with such economical smartphone, providing you with great specification and at a great price. So yeah, definitely in the segment I would say this one rocks. Buying a phone for yourself is good. Buying a phone for your near and dear one is special, especially your mom and dad, man. They also deserve to use a smartphone because then they're gonna download WhatsApp and send you those forwarded messages telling you to be good to your parents and all those things. But yeah, here is our list of the best smartphones that are available in 2016 right now. Take a look.
So guys, we've entered into the second half of 2016 and we've seen some pretty impressive phone launches in the year already. If you're out in the market right now to buy a new phone for yourself, this is probably the worst time for you to be doing that, because most of the flagships offered by the big ticket brands are already a few months old, and with half the year still left, we have a lot more of impressive phone launches in the pipeline. But don't worry, we're gonna give you 5 phones which we feel are not going to get obsolete anytime soon and are the best in their price bracket. Check out the list. So first up on our list, you already know what we're going to start off with. Samsung's Galaxy S7. It doesn't get any better than this. It does not get any clearer than this. And I've said this time and again, this is not just the best Android smartphone in the market out there. This is the best smartphone available in the market today. Period. Samsung's High Priestess elegantly mingles classy looks, beastly performance, the best camera ever seen on a phone, and decent battery life in a package that's quite resistant to even water damage. It is as close to smartphone perfection as one can ever get. Next, now amongst a sea of Goliath brands like Samsung and Apple, the new OnePlus 3 is the very definition of what we can call a giant killing act. I mean, just look at it. It has the fit and finish of an expensive phone. It's fully clad in aluminum. It has the hardware features of an expensive phone, the best processor, the most amount of RAM ever seen in a smartphone, 6 GB mind you, and even 64 GB of storage with a camera that can keep up with the iPhone 6s. And all that for almost half the price of these so-called expensive phones, rupees 27,999. Venturing into the budget segment, how can we not mention Xiaomi's Redmi Note 3? It's the first name which comes to mind. It launched a few months back and is still selling like hotcakes. This is what I'll describe as the perfect budget smartphone. It looks classy in its metal body, it has a whip-fast fingerprint scanner, and it performs like a boss. You can have 20 odd apps running at the same time and play heavy-duty games without breaking a sweat. All that along with its category-defining 4000 mAh battery, which is both massive and impressive. This one's gonna cost you a cool 12,000 rupees. And when we're talking about budget smartphones, the next big name that we're gonna have on our list is the Moto G4 Plus. The Moto G4 Plus gives you the feel and user experience of Google's flagship devices, which offer possibly the best software experience that you can get on any phone. But more than this, for less than rupees 20,000, its camera comes shockingly close to the iPhone. This one is for the serial Instagram. And if you're still old school and like a small phone, then the new iPhone SE is your toy. Think about it. It has more or less the same guts as the iPhone 6s. Apple bills it as the most powerful 4-inch smartphone in the world, and it is dead right because it packs scorching fast performance, a very capable rear camera, and the best battery life ever seen, at least on an iPhone. So there you go. That's our list of the best smartphones which we feel are not going to be dying a death of obsolescence and disuse anytime soon. Peep into your wallet, take your pick. You're not going to be disappointed.
Time to see what's making news in the world of technology. It's time for tech news. Very important. Gotta see it, man.
A Tesla Model S with the autopilot system activated was involved in a fatal crash. The first known fatality in a Tesla where autopilot was active. The company revealed the crash in a blog post posted recently and says it informed the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration of the incident, which is now under investigation. It is important to note that Tesla disables autopilot by default and requires explicit acknowledgement that the system is new technology and still in a public beta phase before it can be enabled. NBC has promised to broadcast 85 hours of the 2016 Rio Olympics in virtual reality. The opening and closing ceremonies plus men's basketball, gymnastics, track and field, beach volleyball, diving, boxing and fencing events will all be available for the Samsung Gear VR headset through a special section of the NBC Sports app.
I think it could be New York cheesecake.
Noodle?
After spending weeks taking suggestions from users all over the world, Google has finally settled on a name for the next version of Android. The company revealed on Thursday that the latest OS will be called Android Nougat.
With that said, by the power given to me here in the state of Nevada, it is now my honor and my privilege to pronounce you husband and smartphone. Congratulations to both of you. You may walk your bride.
A 34-year-old man from Los Angeles, Aaron Sherbnak, married his cell phone at the Little Vegas Chapel in Nevada last month in an attempt to make a point about society's growing devotion to and reliance on their smartphones.
All the days of my life.
What I hope my wedding will do is to somehow act as a symbolic gesture to show how precious our phones are becoming in our daily lives, and hopefully get others to ask that same question of themselves and their relationships to their phones.
Alright, with that it's a wrap. We sincerely hope you watched the show, the complete show, segment 1, segment 2 with all the phones and the latest updates from the world of technology. It's an awesome show, right? Thank you very much. We'll be back next week with more of Gadgets and Gizmos. Take care.